Guy Ford from the ECAC Sports Network, and joining us today is Coach John Marzka from Albright College. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Guy. Thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, congrats on earning an ECAC Bowl bid, Coach, and we're just excited for you. I got to ask this question, though, Coach. After starting with a 1-4 record, how'd you guys manage to turn it around to a 5-game winning streak?
That's a good question. A combination of things. First, I think it was outstanding leadership by our seniors, particularly our 4 senior captains, and I think tremendous character by the young men, in our program. We very young this year. We had graduated 29 seniors from last year's 8-3 squad that won an ECAC championship, and lost somewhere around 18, 19 starters. So we're very underclassmen laden, football team. We only had a dozen seniors, on the squad this year, and we had several freshmen and sophomores that were starting for us in all 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. And so, you start the season very young and somewhat immature, relatively speaking, in the game of football, physically, mentally, and you got to keep things very simple for young players, so that they can just play and they're not thinking too much. And as much as you try to do that, it's not an easy task. And so, we had set out with as always, a goal to win a MAC conference championship. And after our 4th conference loss in a row, and it was kind of we had a team meeting, like we normally do on a Monday, and we had to kind of figure out where do we go from here. We had a bye week coming up, and 0-4 in the conference, 1-4 overall. It was no secret that our hopes for a conference championship were over, and that bubble had burst.
Right.
And I talked to the team. I cited a quote by Thomas F. Buxton, who said, "The child's philosophy is a true one.
Nice.
He does not despise the bubble because it burst. He simply blows another bubble."
All right.
That's what we're going to do here. Is we're going to blow another bubble, and the new bubble is let's win out. Let's go 5-0. Let's end with a winning record and try to get a shot at an ECAC bowl game.
That's awesome.
And so, to the credit of the young men in our program, we were able to do that. And we had to do it in some compelling fashion. 2 overtime games. One single overtime game, a double overtime game, and then last week even just to close out our last game, and we had to hold on at the very end of the game, and had to block what would have been a tying field goal that would have sent us into overtime, for a 3rd time, and we blocked that kick to secure the win.
Right.
And so it's not like we've had an easy road here. Even these last 5 wins, we've just been finding a way to win at the end. And so anytime you're able to do that, I think that certainly speaks to the character of the young men in your program.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I got another question for you. I love your philosophy, and I love your energy about the youth. I mean, what are your thoughts on the matchup against Salisbury?
Well, they're a great football team, no doubt about it. And, I know Salisbury University program very well. I know Sherman Wood very well. He does a great job. He's a great coach. He always has well-coached teams. He always has physical football teams. He builds his teams around great defense, sound on special teams, and then a very methodical, patient, efficient offense, that doesn't make mistakes. And, and that's been his philosophy since as long as I've known him. And we faced Salisbury in our opener in 2007 and 2008. And actually, in 2007, for me, it was my first head coaching job, here at Albright, and that was my first game of my career as a head coach. And it was baptism by fire as we lost that game to Salisbury somewhere 42-13, something like that. And then we had an opportunity to open with them again in 2008, and we were able to keep that one pretty close and had a chance to win at the end. I think we lost 34-30 in that game, and we haven't faced Salisbury since. But I serve on the NCAA National Championship Selection Committee.
Right.
And so in that capacity, I've followed Salisbury year in and year out, as their name's always coming up when it comes to playoff consideration. They've done very well in the Empire 8, which is one of the best conferences certainly in the country, let alone the East Coast. They've been able to win that conference and get in the national playoffs. And I actually served as NCAA site rep, I think it was 2 years ago, in Salisbury's second-round playoff game against Widener University. And, I worked very closely with their team through that entire weekend, including being on their sideline. So I have some intimate knowledge about how they operate and things that they do, and they're very well coached, as I said. They do a great job. As far as we're concerned, it's the same formula for us, and that's the focus on us and executing as well as we're capable of, and just trying to be 1-0 for one more week. And we talk to our guys all the time, about is to be 1-0 Saturday at 3:00. You focus on being 1-0 every day. So you got to be 1-0 on Monday and be 1-0 on Tuesday, etc. And then to be 1-0 every day, you just take that one play at a time, and that's being 1-0 on every play.
Right.
If you're 1-0 on enough plays, you can win the day, and if you're 1-0 on enough days, you can win the week. And so that's really all that we're focused on here. And,
right.
We're excited about the challenge and the level of competition, and
right.
I'm sure it's going to be a great test for us and a great matchup.
Well, Coach, with all the focus that you guys have been pouring in, or you have been pouring into your team and into the reaction of your team, I want to ask you a question. What was your team's reaction when selected for the ECAC Bowl?
Well, we were very excited. Like I said, we kind of, using my language, blown that new bubble, at the midpoint in the season, and set a goal, and to be able to win out the way we did and achieve that regular season goal, and everything else is out of our control. We're not in control over whether we got selected or not. All we could do is put ourselves in position to be considered, and we did that by going 5-0. And so our guys are very excited. I've got a lot of young men in my program from the state of Maryland. They're very familiar with Salisbury University. They've been recruited in many cases by Salisbury. They've got friends that play at Salisbury. So they're very familiar with the program. And also, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, Guy, but Sherman Wood and I have just signed a 2-year agreement to open with each other in 2015 and 2016.
Oh. Okay.
And we came to that agreement somewhere in mid-October when I found out that we were dropped by our scheduled opener. He
Wow.
was looking for a game, and I was looking for a game, and so we're opening up with them at our place to start the 2015 season. We'll be going down to their place to open up the 2016 season. So this game here is going to be a preview, of the next couple of years to come. And I think it's great preparation, really, for both programs, in facing somebody new, that neither of us have seen, and certainly none of our players have seen. A couple of my coaches were here when we faced them, but nobody else. And so, to prepare for a team like that is great at the triple option, and we don't see that in our conference. And so this is kind of a preview for us. I think it will help us get ready for the next year as well.
Well, that's awesome, Coach. That's awesome. And my last question to you, Coach, is how can an ECAC Bowl victory help your program moving into next year and the future?
Well, a couple of things. I think it certainly, I think it gives us a lot of confidence, and it gives us a lot of momentum, moving into the off season. I only graduate 12 seniors and really not that many starters. There's probably, maybe half a dozen, or so starters that I graduate, this year. And so I've got the bulk of my team back, next year. And so this is, a win here. The first thing it does is I think it sends our seniors out on the right note. For those 12 young men, it's the last football game of their career. And, we certainly want to, send them out in the right manner. For our underclassmen, it gives us momentum moving into the off season. I think it gives us some confidence moving forward. If we can find a way to be successful against a great program like Salisbury, I think that certainly helps us. I think it gives us momentum in recruiting. There's a lot of publicity surrounded with that, and certainly anytime you can win a championship game, it gives you, I think, an edge in recruiting. And then the other thing, quite honestly, for us, I think it's an opportunity for us to further grow our character. I mean,
right.
Everyone at this point of the season is beat up. I mean, I've got more injuries this year than I can remember in my career as a head coach. We've lost about 9 starters, for the season over the course of this year. And what keeps happening is young guys just keep stepping in and stepping up. And we've just been finding ways to win. And so, you can look at this, oh boy, we're injured and we got all these, obstacles to overcome, and, how can we do it? Or it is another opportunity for us to find a way to win.
Right.
And for another guy to step up and gain some experience. And I think it's a testament to your character when you can overcome, those setbacks that you inevitably have. And, when you get in the national playoffs, I mean, every team's beat up. You get to a championship game like this in the ECAC, everyone's beat up.
Oh, that's right.
And it's about your depth, and it's about, a total team effort. And it's about finding guys that can step into key roles, when needed. And along those lines, look, I'm planning on our program getting back into the national playoffs. I mean, it's been, last time we were in the national playoffs was 2009. We went to the quarterfinals. We haven't been there since, and we want to get back to that. And so, for me, another purpose of this game is to help us prepare for a future national playoff run. So we're going to travel the same way that we would travel for an NCAA first-round game. It'll be the same kind of structure for us. We requested a noon kickoff because that's a first-round playoff game. We're traveling overnight. We're practicing at the host facility. Staying in hotels. We're going to have dinner together. And so for me, this is kind of a dry run in preparation for a future national playoff berth. And then when we get to that point, our players will feel like they've been there before.
Well, Coach, I got to tell you, you sound like you have great things going on with your program. We want to thank you very much for joining us today and wishing you the best of luck on Saturday. Good luck, and thank you very much for the interview, okay?
Okay, thanks, guy. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.